everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jordan and this is my October TBR. I don't usually make monthly TBR videos. I don't even watch monthly TBR videos usually. I have a little bit of a pet peeve when it comes to people making these super ambitious monthly TBRs and then not getting to all the books. So when people mention a book that I'm really looking forward to hearing about and then they don't end up reviewing it in their wrap up, it just kind of bugs me. And so I have kind of made it a point not to do that on my channel. I don't want to promise that I'm going to read something and then end up not reading it. So that's why I haven't done TBRs up to this point. But I have a pretty specific TBR already lined up for October, and I've kept it to a manageable amount that I am very confident that I will read all of these books. I'm very motivated to read all of these books because it will lead to future videos. So what my plans are for October is I'm going to read all the thrillers. Mystery thrillers are my favorite genre to begin with, and then if you are in the book community, you probably know that in November is when Goodreads does its Goodreads Choice Awards, which is basically when a bunch of books are nominated and then voted upon as kind of the best books of the year in all the different genres. And they always have a mystery thriller genre. Last year, after they were announced, I did attempt to read all of the nominees for that category and predict the winners, and I posted about that on my blog. The blog is no longer active, but I want to do a similar thing this year for the Goodreads Choice Awards, but I wanted to go ahead and attempt to try to read all the nominees before they even get nominated. So in order to do that, I've been keeping my eye out on all the thriller releases of the year, reading some as I can, but now in October is when I'm really going to have to hit it hard and read all of the thrillers this month. So in a future video, I will be making an actual predictions list of the books that I think will be nominated and ultimately win the Goodreads Choice Award for the mystery thriller category, but right now I kind of want to just cover all my bases in October, read as many thrillers as I can, especially the ones that have been really popular so far this year. So I think I've got 12 books to talk about. The first 4 books are all thrillers that I have gotten from my library, and for most of them, I'm gonna say I don't really know what they're about. If I do know anything, I will let you know, but a lot of them, I haven't really looked into the synopses. I either know the author or I've seen the book floating around BookTube for a long time. But the first book that I have for this list is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I don't know anything about this other than I'm guessing it takes place at a motel, and that's been very popular this year. I also have The Boy from the Woods by Harlan Coben. Harlan Coben is a mystery writer who often appears on the Goodreads Choice Award nominee list. I read his book last year called Runaway, and I actually ended up really enjoying it, so I'm curious to see how I like this book and to see if Harlan Coben is an author that I will enjoy future books from and that I might want to look into his backlist. And then we've got A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. As far as I understand, this is kind of towing the line on literary fiction and mystery, but something to do with a married couple, I'm guessing. And then the last library book I have is He Started It by Samantha Downing. Samantha Downing had the book last year, My Lovely Wife, that was very, very popular. And this is her follow-up. I haven't heard as many reviews of this book. I don't think it's quite as popular as her first one, but because she is a returning author and she's been on the Goodreads Choice Award nominee list before, I thought I'd cover my bases again and read that book. Plus I'm a little bit interested. I think this has something to do with an inheritance and sibling rivalry kind of. I think there's a road trip in there. So a lot of fun tropes that I am excited to read. And then I have a couple books that I already own. First one is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I think that this came out a little too recently to be popular enough for the Goodreads Choice Awards, but I'm interested in it regardless. I think it has to do with the gentrification of a neighborhood and some of those more hard-hitting topics while also still being a thriller, which is very exciting, and I've seen great reviews for it. And then same story with Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I have not read any of Tiffany D. Jackson's books yet, but I hear great things. Usually I think they're more contemporary, but this one does have a mystery element. And like I said for When No One Is Watching, this book came out really recently, so I don't think it's gonna be popular enough to actually be nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards, but because it fits into this genre that I'm reading for the month, I figured I would throw it in. And then I will be listening to a number of audiobooks. So the first one that I'm going to be listening to is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a very popular book this year. Between you and me, this is my prediction for the winner of the Goodreads Choice Awards 2020. Putting that out there now. I did just recently read Lucy Foley's debut mystery thriller called The Hunting Party, which is an isolated closed circle mystery. That one was set in the remote mountain area, very snowy and wintry. This one, the guest list, I believe takes place on a remote island for a wedding, and it's a similar isolated closed circle mystery. And the guest list is on Scribd, so I'll be listening to it there. And then I also want to read The Other Misses by Mary Kubica. I have not read any of Mary Kubica's thrillers before, but they're very popular, and this one is no different. And this is on Hoopla, so I plan on listening to it on there. Don't know really anything about it. And then The Last Flight by Julie Clark. This was a book of the month pick earlier this year, I believe, and kind of became popular through that. I think it has to do with two people who meet in an airport and decide to like switch identities, switch destinations, get on each other's flights, and then one of the planes goes down, and so the one that's still alive has to live with being this person. I don't know, kind of confusing, but sounds really interesting too, so I'm excited to get to that one. And then a couple books that I don't have in my possession yet, and that I'm actually not sure how I'm going to read them yet, but I do want to obtain them in one way or another. The hold list at my library is way too long. I won't get it in October, so I probably will have to either purchase it physically or purchase it through Libro FM as an audiobook, but spend a whole, credit on it. And the books left are His and Hers by Alice Feeney. Alice Feeney has showed up on the Goodreads Choice Award list before. This is her newest thriller, don't know anything about it. The Shadows by Alex North, same exact story. And then One by One by Ruth Ware. This is a very popular book. It was just released recently, but because Ruth Ware is such a popular thriller author, I do foresee it possibly being on the list. Even if it's not an initial nominee, I could see it being a write-in vote from a lot of people, and so I want to get this one read as well. So all in all, that is 12 thrillers that I'm planning to read in October. Please let me know what your reading plans are for this month, and I will see you in my next video.